So I'm going to call up my next speaker, who's Isabel Cooke. Now, Isabel's going to speak to us about Barclays and Rise London. And before she comes up, let's remember the round of applause. And a fun fact about Isabel is she was actually trapped in a ski lift with Nicolas Sarkozy, who was the ex-Prime Minister of France?
Yeah, President.
Ex-President of France.
Yeah.
So yes, give it up for Isabel, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I sort of thought I'd come down and talk to you all about what Rise London is, because you're here in Rise London right now. But you might not know what Barclays does in this space and why we essentially have this building and what we're doing here. So essentially this is Barclays' open innovation platform. It's the way that we as a bank are looking to connect with entrepreneurs, predominantly in the fintech space, so the financial technology space, looking for ways that we can collaborate with these fintech startups that are really pushing the boundaries of financial services. So we as a bank, as Barclays, have been pretty innovative in the past. We were the first bank to have an ATM machine, the first ones to launch a credit card in the UK, first to have a female branch manager, and most importantly for me, we were the first to do away with I'm a lefty. And you know when you go into the bank and you have those pens and they're like attached to the desk by that annoying little bit of metal. We're the first to do away with those and trust our customers not to steal our pens. And it was great, revolutionary for us lefties who always had to look like we were trying to steal the bank details of the person next door. So we were a bank of firsts, very innovative. But in order to maintain that position and keep ourselves at the forefront of innovation, we recognise that we really have to work with the creatives, with the entrepreneurial people like yourselves who are going to be there and redesigning the future of financial services. So we have this space, Rise London. London was the first, and we've now launched in all sorts of other locations around the globe, from Manchester to New York to Vilnius, Cape Town, Mumbai. So we're really spreading around the world, which is exciting for us. So the site here in London has three main elements. One is a co-working space just next door. This is run by Central Working. They're a co-working space provider. They have a number of sites in and around London and one in Manchester with us. And they're a great sort of connector as well as a co-working space provider. So they have connections into large corporates. So Microsoft has the Microsoft Ventures program in a central working space. Ernst & Young, Starbucks, DPD have all run different accelerator or startup challenge style programs in a central working space. So they're a great partner for us to have in the site. Then we've got this event space. So there's all sorts of amazing events going on here, and I hope when you joined up, arrived today, you signed up to our newsletter when you checked in, because you can see about all the different things that are going on here through the week. Everything from, we've got the Bitcoin and Blockchain Leadership Forum, if you're interested in Bitcoin and the future of virtual currencies and cryptocurrencies, all the way through to things around cybersecurity and hackathons and all sorts of different interesting meetups, predominantly in the fintech space. And then we've also got all sort of meeting rooms as well, which can be used, more than welcome to book those online at thinkrise.com. Then we've got the Accelerator program, which is sort of the jewel in the crown, I like to think. This is a program for 10 fintech startups. They come through an intense program with us. It's delivered by a company called Techstars. They're an amazing, world-renowned accelerator program provider. They're also a VC firm as well, so they take equity in the businesses and provide a small amount of investment as well. So the program itself is 13 weeks. It's a really intense program. It starts with mentoring, so the companies receive mentoring from hundreds of different mentors, from entrepreneurs who have been there and done that before, all the way through to kind of specialist mentors in different areas like people in compliance and regulation. Then they go through Attraction Month, which is all about growth. It's about kind of maybe going and sourcing your new customers, or potentially some of the companies might pivot during this stage where they basically decide that their idea might need a little bit of changing or might need to adapt to launch into a new market, for example. And then the final month is storytelling, where they learn to practice their pitch. And they come to a demo day which had 900 people in our most recent demo day, and they present their businesses to a whole room full of people. And it's a really exciting day to come down and watch and see these startups who've gone through this 3-month journey come out at the end of it. So that's the Barclays Accelerator Programme, and we've seen some really amazing successes come out of the back of it. So a company called DoPay is one really exciting success story for us. They're looking to bank the unbanked in Egypt. So in Egypt, about 85% of people don't have a bank account. And you can imagine how logistically challenging that is for everyone, really, but also particularly for large corporates who have a lot of people on their payroll who they have to pay each month, each week in cash. And logistically, you can imagine that that's going to be quite difficult, carries a lot of risk. So what DoPay do is they essentially deliver a simple payroll solution through the cloud, and it has sort of all sorts of different light banking essentially around it. Barclays has partnered with DoPay, and we've launched in Egypt live with them. So that's now a real product that we're able to launch and have taken to market to get all sorts of new customers in for us in that region. So that's one really exciting example for us, but there are so many really interesting companies doing all sorts of different things, really pushing the boundaries of financial services. This might sound not so glamorous and exciting, financial services, but it really is exciting when you start digging beneath the surface and seeing some of the amazing stuff that's going on. Another company we're working with called DigiSec, they're essentially looking at enabling payments onto any connected device. So obviously you can, right now you've got your Fitbit or all sorts of different connected devices, and to avoid you having an arm full of devices, one for your fitness, one for your banking, one for your all sorts of anything else, they're essentially enabling payment into any connected device. Might not sound that revolutionary, but they're the only company in the world doing it right now, so that's potentially huge, and we're running a proof of concept with them now as well, so with Barclays and DigiSec to launch that. So that's another really exciting company that we're working with. And then Rise as well, we have all sorts of other different programs. So the Accelerator program is one piece, but we also do all sorts of different things. We do Rise Mentoring. Rise Mentoring is an opportunity for, again, fintech startups to come down to the site and meet with different mentors, so Barclays help them to understand ways that they might be able to work with a large corporate, because as you can imagine, it's sometimes a little difficult to connect a small startup with such a big bank like Barclays. So we help facilitate that. And we also help them with things like marketing and legal and how to sort of commercialize their business potentially as well. So we run that program. We also do Rise and Shine series, which is where we get interesting speakers come down to talk to sort of an audience of entrepreneurs. Our next one is Suzanne, the CEO of FinTech Circle. She's going to be here next Friday, so if anyone's interested, I think we've still got some spaces at that, so that's next Friday morning. And then we also just have all sorts of other just different events coming on here, so much like ones run by the community like the MOEVEMENT, and all sorts of other amazing events. So definitely sort of get involved, come down, sign up, see what's going on. Yeah, does anyone have any questions about it? Or
So we can get in the light.
Oh, okay, sorry. Have I been in the dark the whole time?
No, you've been fine. So, yes, Rise does a lot, actually.
Yeah, we do loads.
Okay, so my question for you is, do the startups have to be financial?
Predominantly they are, in the financial technology space. Ultimately, because Barclays is looking at this as a way to work and develop our innovation with startups. So the majority of the companies that we work with are in the financial technology space, or what I'd call sort of related services. So things like cybersecurity, big data, AI, machine learning. We sort of work with startups in that space as well.
Big data, AI, machine learning. Does anyone know what that means? Yeah, some of us, because I don't. Fantastic. Have we got any questions from the audience? Yep, so we've got one question.
I just wondered, now we're going to leave the EU, how the Barclays going to perform on the forefront of that?
So, thankfully for me, Thankfully for me, it's not an area in which I work really. So it's not something which I would have any sort of knowledge to comment upon myself, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm here hoping we will be absolutely fine as an employee of Barclays.
So another question.
So notoriously, fintech is a high failure rate kind of industry, maybe 1 success for every 100 attempts. So do you guys actually fund or just provide resources? How does it work?
So through this program, we don't actually provide funding. So we're not there in that side of the space. We're there to look for opportunities for startups that we can work with in a commercial way. So we're looking for ways, essentially, to be the first customer, or one of the first customers of some of these smaller fintech startups. We're not in the financing side. We're predominantly in the looking for innovations that we can be working with.
Fantastic, and I think we had another question.
So from this crowd of people, is there something you could ask for that would help?
What can I ask of you all?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. What can I ask you all to do?
See, we're coaches, so we ask you questions.
Okay. So I guess the main thing is for us is just awareness, because people don't necessarily know that Barclays are out there doing this. So if you all want to follow us on Twitter and tweet about what it is that Barclays is doing here, then that would be amazing. At ThinkRise London.
Okay,
at ThinkRise LDN.
At ThinkRise LDN.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's in there, but it's a little hidden today. It was on there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.